Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are. This one is the European trip. Right after I got the call from Best Event, I got another one, this time from Optima, the German machine builder that also supplies equipment to Nespresso. They told me they had a demo machine originally ordered by Coca-Cola for a project that had been scrapped. And they said it could be converted into a capsule machine because technically it was very similar. This was totally unexpected. Until that point, Optima hadn't even considered selling us or anybody a machine. Suddenly the door had opened. Almost at the same time, TME, an Italian company, also decided to jump onto an Nespresso compatible space. It was around 2011, just a year before some of Nespresso's core patents were due to expire. So we decided to make the most of it. We scheduled meetings with Optima, TME, and Best Event, who was waiting in Rotterdam. The timing couldn't have been better. Both the German and Italian machines had output speeds of 400 to 600 capsules per minute, massively faster than the equipment I was running at the time. This would make it possible to supply the 100 million capsules that had dangled in front of us. So we jumped onto a plane, flew to Amsterdam. My financial partner, his dad, Jacko, and his PA, and myself, we all flew off to Amsterdam. I won't mention my business name. He's a private person and prefers to stay out of the spotlight. Bas met us at a hotel in Rotterdam and gave us the itinerary. We visited Pelican Rouge, a major coffee roaster, and also pitched to some supermarket chains like the Dutch Jumbo and Spar. At every meeting, the interest was there, but I could sense the hesitation. People were still afraid to be first. The legal shadow of Nestle was still very real at that point, but the interest, it was there, definitely positive. And by the way, we still do business with all of these companies today. Next up, TME Italy. We visited one of their installations where a machine was already in small-scale production. It was a typical Italian engineering, fast, lean, run by one operator, and just chaotic enough to feel brilliant. It looked like it could do the job. After some negotiations, we agreed to a price around circa 500,000 euros. Then we flew to Germany to visit Optima. They took us to a secret location tucked away from the main production floor. The machine was something else. It didn't scream, it didn't flash, it wasn't going crazy like the Italian. It just fired and bam, 60 strokes a minute. And I remember asking the operator, so when does it stop? And he looked at me in a thick German accent. It stops when you push stop. That told me everything that I needed to know. It was stable, it was reliable, and it could run 600 capsules a minute. And after some more negotiation, we landed on a similar price. Luckily, another circa 500,000 for the used machine. So just like that, we're about to commit to north of €1 million for two machines. But the trip wasn't over yet. Back in the Netherlands, Bas told us he wanted to introduce us to some potential investors. We agreed and the meeting was set. We didn't have a pitch deck, no PowerPoint, just a conversation. It was just going to be a conversation. We walked into the room and there were three men there. Nils Clement, formerly with Starbucks, Peter Spoon, an investor, and Bas Whitford, also an investor. Yes, and these are the same Peter and Bas who are now the Dutch Dragons, the Netherlands answer to the Shark Tank. This meeting wasn't even on the agenda. Bas had set it all up. We had a casual Q&A session, and then we went out to dinner at a chef's table, very fancy in Rotterdam. We probably drank a little too much wine. We had a fantastic time. And by the end of the night, we were all getting along famously. Then came the question. They wanted to get involved, but they insisted the production had to move to Europe, specifically Rotterdam. It was a little bit of a curveball for me because we had just started Cape Town, something we hadn't even considered. We agreed to think it through and scheduled a conference call for a few days later, once we were back in Cape Town. Next week, what happens next?